So I got the drive dogs all shaped up, and they just barely stick through the track, which is good. All the fine tuning, got the teeth rounded on the top and slightly beveled this way to help guide them through the holes. Got them mounted onto the main drive drum, got it trimmed down, bolted them on. Everything looks pretty solid, and it's coming along pretty good. I had to do a bit of fine tuning on the drive dogs again. I had to file the sides a little bit more to get them to match up with the holes a little better, to go through the hole actually, because 1/8 thick, and that's basically the diameter of the hole. So by making it a little narrower, they've slipped into the holes a little better. So that was one of the other changes that I had to make. So I had to change the placement of the rear shock. I originally had it over here, as you saw in the earlier videos, and it went up to the bogey wheels up top here. And when it compressed, there's not a whole lot of travel on this shock, so when I'd compress it, it would go up a little and bottom out about there. It wasn't much at all. The front had worked good. You'd get a lot of movement with the front, but the rear there wasn't much at all. So I changed the shock position to the rear of the slider over here. So as it's compressing, it travels a lot better this way, as you can see. So it gives it a little better, well actually a lot better than it did before. So as you can see, front compression, rear compression, and both together, and I think that will do just fine. One of the other changes that I had to make was, because the drive drum turned out to be smaller to make the teeth line up with the holes, what happened was it left a lot more slack in the track. So I had to modify the sliders again and make them adjustable for track tension. So I got a little plate that goes here. There's a locking nut on the other side of this, and that plate slides up to the rear wheel, bogey wheel, and I cut a slot in the actual slider. So this I was able to pull back, tighten up the nut on the inside, and that locks the bogey wheel farther back, taking the tension out of the track. Now when it was loose, the teeth would not mesh up on the drive dogs. So now that I've got the tension on it, they mesh up just fine, as you can see. So with the new suspension, you can see how it's going to basically follow the ground a little bit better than the original stock setup.